Boom. Why is it still playing? What's going on?
What do you mean? I'm not hearing anything.
Oh wait, I had the YouTube open still. I'm like, what's going on? I was losing my. Oh, that's where I was.
Is there an echo in here?
There was an echo in here.
You know what? I was gonna say I'm gonna bring it to the Bad Batch at one point, but are we there? No, we're not there. We're not there yet. We're not there yet, guys. We're not.
I don't know where
we're
we
not
are.
there yet, guys.
Still
we're not there yet, guys.
Oh gosh.
So the Omega meter
everyone
is
doing?
still yay high. We're still waiting for it to reach full.
I had
Omega.
this whole fancy intro planned, and then I got thrown off.
AJ, go ahead.
I was just gonna yell ahoy.
Ahoy!
That's my new HoloNet Live thing.
Why? Okay.
Instead of hey everybody, it's gonna be ahoy.
For just
Ahoy.
HoloNet Live, of course.
But
the
it fell
regular
flat.
podcast.
Ahoy, ahoy.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have the
It's gonna be
Ahoy, me noi. That's do it, Bob. That's different. That's just all that's in my head.
It's on
Wow,
the same.
we started off with the SpongeBob reference.
You know what?
Sorry.
And we had
Not a
there's
good
also
That's a good
every
sign. That's a
reason
good
to
sign.
make a SpongeBob reference about this episode as well. But we'll get to that.
We do.
We'll get
Yes.
to that.
AJ,
Just
You
play
didn't-
along.
you didn't know? AJ,
I honestly am
Did I
surprised.
pop it
Matt
in there?
looks confused too.
I'm confused.
Anywho.
Honestly, I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I'm
I
ready for
want
the
to-
surprise.
I just like
later.
making
I'm ready
SpongeBob
for the
references.
surprise
all right. We'll get there when we get there. We'll get there when we get there.
We'll get there. when we get
Millie,
there.
what's going on?
Hey.
Still some love for that intro. So, before we got to Book of Boba, I wanted to talk about some news today. Exciting news we've all been waiting for. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. Lego Star Wars.
Yeah.
April 5th.
Oh yeah,
I
watched that
woke
trailer
up-
like 4 times.
I
Finally.
woke up and Matt was like, I just had a text from Matt that said mumble mode. I'm like, what the
Mumble
hell?
mode.
I know,
What
right?
the
That's the
hell?
best part.
Oh, I'm so
Yeah.
excited. They
Everyone's
literally.
so upset because the voice like, oh, it's all voice acted now, and Lego games are ruined now. They don't do good anymore.
That was me. I'm that guy.
That was Matt.
Look.
I love the voice acting, but
I
I'm
do
happy
too.
they have. I'm happy they have mumble mode. My second playthrough, I'll
Yeah.
go play mumble mode.
I gotta play Mumble.
I don't
Mode.
know
I'm
which
so
one I want to.
excited.
It's like when I was playing Ghost of Tsushima, and it's like, do I play Japanese with Kurosawa mode on, or do I play American dub and all bright and colorful?
Did you end up doing both?
I started with the former, and then I'm like, I should do that on the second playthrough, and I'm going to, but I did the latter. I'm finishing
I
it on the
might
latter.
play
Shame on me.
my first playthrough on Mumble Mode. We'll see.
That's a
That
bold
would be
choice.
very on brand. You've been wanting it, so
I've been
That's what
dying for
that's
it.
what
They
you've
literally-
wanted.
They were like, oh yeah, that's an interesting idea. Maybe we'll implement that. I had no idea they were actually going to
that's
do
why
it.
it's taking so long. That's like a big.
Yeah,
It's not
that's
that
a
big
big
of an ask,
commitment.
but it's
That's
a
Do you know
big.
how big of a commitment it is
Yeah.
to voice act?
You know, I was about to say, you know how hard it is to bring somebody in to go.
I love how they revealed it too, with just
Oh, yeah.
like the Luke and Vader scene, like perfect. They're
Vader-
just like,
I
oh,
didn't
here
get
it
a-
is.
I didn't get a picture of this, but I was sharing this with you guys, and
Yes.
I shared it with Levi.
Yeah.
The 4K trilogy sets. They look
They
beautiful.
look so good. They look
But that's a
so
separate
good.
topic.
Everybody
we-
wins.
What are we looking
for?
forward to with Lego Star Wars? Like, what's your number one thing you're looking forward to in this game?
I've
The
already
Bad
said it.
Batch DLC. No, I'm kidding. The entire thing, actually. I love
Where's
the
the
Lego
line?
games, and look, I love the Lego games, and I'm just so excited to actually just like have it back and have the prequels and the originals to have the full like open worldness to it, because the Force Awakens one had that, but to get like more to it, the traveling between the planets. That's what
I've tried to replay the first and second one, and it's just, you know, like I love playing through these story beats, but Lego at that time was still figuring out how like this form of it worked, because before that it was like Lego Island and Lego Island 2, which are both absolute jams and you should totally play them, but that's a totally different stream. But like it was like it just felt very dated, and I just kept being like, I just really want to play the Skywalker trilogy, because this, I remember being bummed on it until I finally got to see gameplay. This was, you know, like a year and a half ago at this point, and I was like, oh wait, this is totally different. Like this is way different from like the Lord of the Rings or Jurassic Park or any of these other ones, and it just feels like a full game, not just the novelty of Lego in your favorite universe.
Yeah, it's
no, for sure.
it's massive. Like, from what I gathered, I only watched the trailer once or maybe once and a half, one time and a half. But
Those
It
are
was a
rookie
demo.
numbers. You got to pump
It's
those numbers
cool.
up.
It wasn't just
yeah,
a
yeah.
trailer; it was a demo. Okay?
yeah, it was with
That's
the British
true.
accent dude
With the
explaining.
guy
it.
like
It was great.
explaining things, stuff. I'm like, all right.
Fulfilling your greatest dreams and fantasies. Gonk droid.
Oh yeah,
Guys, the comedic
get-
timing of that line
I am wearing the Rebel
alone.
Ground Crew. I totally forgot to like. I wear this every night. It's my.
Yes.
I go to sleep in this.
He
my
does.
pajamas.
I
It's
can
not
contest
bad.
this. He does, and
It's
he
not a bad
goes, "I'm
choice.
very, very comfy," and I'm like,
I
Sleeping
also
in a
got my
onesie ain't bad.
identification
You have mine too.
Yeah.
in case.
Oh,
Yeah, I've
I
got
need-
Matt's too, so I can
need-
pretend to be Matt, undercover.
I need a Beskar one.
But I forget what I was saying.
Ooh.
It's
Lego?
cool. It's cool. You can select the movie you want to do, and then like, somehow you unlock the
Yeah.
planets. Because I don't know if you guys played Lego Force Awakens. Jamie and I did. That was a great game.
I haven't.
But you'd go planet to planet and pick your missions from there, which was good, but it was kind of weird. I like that to more organized play the movie from a
Yeah.
different menu. I like that. So
Yeah.
I hope that's because like that's what I want. I want to be able to just kind of breeze my way through, but now actually be more engaged with it because
Yeah.
we've had that. We have the just turn your mind off and smash a bunch of bricks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
Which
I'm
I still
so
want.
glad
I
they
still want to
brought
smash
back
bricks.
bar brawling. I'm so glad they brought back bar brawling.
yes, that looks
Oh,
great.
yeah.
Bar
Oh
brawling, it's
my
what it's all
God.
about. Diner brawling,
That's
bar
all you.
brawling.
That's all you need to do, man.
Cantina brawling.
I would spend. I'm not even kidding. Hours when I was a kid. I was such a dumb kid. I would spend hours just in Dex's diner, just killing people constantly, just running up
Yeah.
to somebody,
It's
beating
fun.
them up, and just fighting until
As
I
a
died.
kid,
Stop
I
being
still do
fun.
that.
Like, oh my god, I used to spend hours.
Did that
on
last
those games. My favorite thing. I hope they bring this back for episode 3. But do you remember in the original Lego Star Wars game, in episode 3, if you did 2-player, it was you. One was Anakin, one was
You had to
Obi-Wan.
team up.
They made you team up the whole level, and then at the end, you had to fight each other.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was weird, but it was
It's
cool.
brutal.
Do they
Yeah.
even have they even like showcased multiplayer? Is it even going to be multiplayer?
Oh, it'll definitely
has
be
to be.
multiplayer.
It's not.
I'd be
It doesn't have
disappointed if it wasn't.
online co-op. That's a bummer. In my
It
opinion.
doesn't have
That would
online
be an
co-op.
easy slam dunk. But I hope that there's some form of co-op. Yeah. Have to hold our hopes.
It looks
Yeah.
amazing that you can fly to the planet and then kind of go down to the surface of the different sections of the planet. And I was like, this is crazy. This is like something from what was promised in
Yeah.
The original
Well,
Battlefront 3.
Battlefront 3, exactly.
They did it on the PSP game.
Yeah.
It was okay. It was okay.
They sort of did it.
Um,
But,
yeah,
uh,
and
yeah.
you're right, AJ. It's crazy to see this level of depth and immersion from a Lego game, and
Yeah.
like it's very refreshing because especially like after the Lego movie, there was this level of polish that we started to see in the animation that like really elevated it.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that here in spades, and I think that was true in Force Awakens. Like you really saw that quality there, and that's what makes you kind of go back at the first two, and it's like, damn it, I want that to be this. Can you do this, but that?
Yeah, and we're gonna
We're
get it.
getting-
We're gonna get
We're
it
getting-
plus more.
We're getting
I've seen
this,
some of the
but that, and
characters
then
you can
some.
be. I saw they had Baba Joe, Matt. I don't know if you saw that. They have Baba Joe.
Baba Joe.
From Force Awakens, like background character. They
Whoa.
have Babu was in the trailer, right?
Oh, I knew that. yeah.
Jabba. I made a gif of it earlier, but
And
Jabba
Salacious B.
slugging his way
Good, good.
across Naboo.
Baba Joe, what could you do with
Gonk
Baba Joe?
droid?
Use your animal.
Bulio's in it.
All
Can-
of the Knights of Ren, guys, I have to talk about this
Of course
later.
they
But
are.
all of the Knights of Ren, I went on a mini like history lesson about the Knights of Ren with like a group of friends this morning, and like it was very well received. And minutes before it was like Knights of Ren showing as characters in the Lego game, and I was over the moon. But again, go back to that. Circle back to go back to those boys.
I want a full Gonk playthrough. I can't wait for the first Twitch
Oh
stream
my
to
god,
do
we
that.
have to do that.
That is what
We
AJ
gotta
and I.
recreate Ryan's video of
Do you think-
power,
Yes.
power trip.
Yes.
Do you think it?
That's the
Like
goal.
the
all
power
the-
trip stream?
Yes.
I bet all of the cutscenes and everything are like pre-rendered. They're not like in engine. How amazing would it be though if you if they
If it's
actually
just-
had your character enacting like the whole thing,
That would
and
be
we
cool.
actually got like Gonk Droid like.
Maybe
Gonk
just
Droid's
Hovering-
tail.
lightsaber's just force holding it right next to it.
Oh
I
my
tried,
god.
I tried.
I didn't notice. I saw on Twitter Mr. Bones. Someone mentioned Mr. Bones, but he's in it.
Holy crap,
But I need to go find that. I didn't see it myself.
Mr.
There's-
Bones.
There's probably going to be a lot of picking through. We're going to find a lot of fun. I like No surprise if like Ponda Baba is in there with
Oh,
Boba
he
and
definitely
just
will
If they're
be.
gonna
pull the
if they have
other arm.
Mr. Bones
And Baba
they're
Joe.
gonna have Ponda Baba. Oh yeah, and Baba Joe.
Ponda Baba
honestly,
and Baba
though.
Joe,
And Millie,
the tag
Millie
team you
mentioned
never knew
earlier,
you wanted.
Cammy and
You're right.
Fixer. They'll
Ponda
probably
Baba
be in it,
Joe.
right?
That's
oh
a
yeah,
good.
we'll get Cammy. And
Probably,
Fixer.
yeah.
We'll
rap
get
duo.
Cammy and Fixer.
They need everyone you could ever think of.
This
needs
might
to
be
in
the
it.
first and
Jabba's
only game I
accountant,
ever
Tessic.
100%.
Just can't wait
Oh.
for the mods on the PC version.
Oh,
That's
God.
that's why I'm getting PC.
Sidon
yeah.
and Thano and the entire crew.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, they were in Force Awakens, so yeah.
Sidon and Quiggled
It's a
were at
given.
least, so yeah.
Oh,
There's
you'd
a very good
definitely
chance
be
there.
able to play as Hondo.
I think
Well,
Hondo
anyway.
was in Force Awakens as well. He was in a
Is he really?
added pack. Yeah,
They're
Oh,
definitely.
they had a
I
Rebels
see.
add-on.
I mean,
I
I think
love-
Clone
And Clone
Wars and
Wars.
Rebels are already going to be in the base game. You don't even have to get DLC for those.
Yeah.
So
I love how this is a Book of Boba Fett stream, and we're just like,
We've gone 10
Lego.
minutes
Well, I wanted.
without
It was
it.
big
It's
news
good.
that we've
A
all
solid
been
10 minutes of
huge.
Lego.
waiting for. So
Huge news.
all we've been waiting for.
We
I've
had to
been
acknowledge it.
Mr. Bones though has me jazzed. Like I'm sitting here
They should.
having like a quiet freak out right now. Thank you, Millie, for letting me know.
I
I'm
hope
gonna have to
Mr.
go back
Bones
and watch that
talks
trailer.
and just freaks out. That'd
Oh
be
my
perfect.
god! And Mark Thompson's voices him. That would. Be
I don't know
even
about
better.
that, but that would be cool.
That's crazy.
But let's move on to the subject of what we're supposed to be talking about. And Ronan brought it up. This episode was awesome. Chapter 4.
It was.
I keep forgetting the
I
name.
don't want to be
Gathering
sarcastic.
Storm?
It's the Rising Storm.
The Rising Storm by Kevin Scott.
Rising
Kevin-
Storm.
The
Gathering
Gathering
Storm.
Storm. So
Gathering Storm.
This
sorry.
is your spoilers.
Ooh,
Oh,
Whoa,
we
look
have
at
this
that.
I'm glad we
Spoilers.
have that.
where's my fancy one that I don't?
I
ever
have
use
no idea
anymore?
where that one is. Hey.
Oh, nice.
Whoa, there
Chapter
we go.
4 of the
Even
Book of
more
Boba Fett,
spoiler
Gathering Storm.
alerted.
So where do we want to start, guys?
I can't believe
where,
I wanna
Mando's
start-
coming
Can we-
back next episode.
can
All
we
right, we're
Come
start?
done.
on, no, Matt.
Wait.
We're saving it till the end.
That's the end.
No, we're not
Can-
talking about that right
Can
now.
we
We're not
start
talking
with
about
this?
that right now.
Yeah, they just.
Oh,
That's also at the end of the episode, but they just planted that in there.
Just
Yeah, they did.
tossed
They
it.
they tossed it into the.
But I wanted to.
Sorry.
flashback.
I actually wanted
bring
to
it
start
back.
with the negative
Okay.
of.
Uh-oh.
I don't have many of the show, and I love this episode. I give this episode an A or A minus or whatever. But a negative I have in hindsight of the show so far, the flashbacks are just weird. Like the Tusken stuff was perfect. I thought they did it well. And then it kept going on to whenever he was in the back to tank, it was a flashback, and that was a cool idea. But it just seemed to become a mess. And all of a sudden, we learned it's been 5 years. It just,
Yeah.
the jumping back and forth, I don't know if it worked out as well as they thought it would. To me, maybe you guys think it worked really well, but
You guys thought I was crazy when I said he spent 5 years with the Tuskens. Everybody thought I was.
No, no,
did,
no, I
but
agree
like,
with you.
it just feels really glossed over, or I don't know. I didn't want just like Boba wandering through the desert, but it just feels like it was rushed.
I agree.
It's,
So the
it's
reason-
weird.
The only reason you would tell a nonlinear story like this is if you have something interesting to reveal by the end that the audience doesn't already know. Look at Memento by Christopher Nolan. I mean, like what you learn by the end changes your entire view of the entire movie. But in this case, well, we already kind of can figure it out by the moment he starts getting taken in by the Tusken Raiders, like the point A to point B. I mean, we even talked about it on chapter 2, what was going to happen in chapter 3. So we it didn't take a genius, or yeah, that was chapter 3, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, because it's chapter
Last
4.
week.
Sorry, losing track of numbers. But yeah, so we
Four.
had predicted it right as it was about to happen, so there wasn't much mystery to have. It would have definitely, I agree, it would have been better served to just have been told right through. Because at this part especially, it felt like we're in Spaceballs with the where they're watching themselves and they're just
Yeah.
hitting fast forward, and it's like
I think
Here we are. Now
we're
now.
in now.
now.
That was then.
I think everybody. First of all, I
Sorry.
think the flashbacks are done. So AJ, you don't have to worry about that.
Well, that's why I brought it up, because I
think
think
so,
they're
too.
Did
done.
you say
So I was
done
reviewing-
or dumb?
Actually,
Done.
I'm
No.
reviewing the flashbacks now.
Done.
and
they may not be.
I think
did
they
have that
are.
line about them about internal wounds not being healed.
I think that was just.
I
a
think they
playful
are,
jab.
just
I
because
think
they
him getting out of the back to tank and they're being like, "You're healed."
and they
I think that
rushed
was
the
like a-
whole.
I
the-
agree.
The stuff we had already seen with Boba, and they showed him take the throne.
Yeah,
I think the
and-
flashbacks
for
ended
sure.
So
there.
we're caught
We're
up.
caught up. We're definitely
Sorry.
There it is.
Sorry. You say it, I gotta stir it.
But yeah, I don't know. Jamie and I were rewatching it, and Jamie, I forget what you said, but it was when Fennec and Boba were at the campfire, and it just felt you said something that was great.
Oh,
I should've written it down, but-
yeah.
I
So
did like those scenes a lot.
Boba spending time with the Tusken Raiders, give or take, is about 4 or so years, because when we get to this episode and he sees the flares over the hill, that's when Mando and Tori Calican are just like going to get Fennec. And so that is season 1 of The Mandalorian. And so Mando season 1 and Mando season 2, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, is about a year apart at most as well, right? There's like time in between the 2 seasons, isn't
I
there?
know
It's a good
season
chunk
1
of
is
time.
5 ABY.
It's
Or no,
enough
sorry,
time
9
to.
ABY.
It's enough time to fix up Navarro and for Grief to grow that goatee.
So
Yeah.
a year
so it
at
has
most.
to be some time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that means
I
that
agree.
when Fennec picks up, or when Boba gets Fennec, when they start working together, they're just like dinking around for like a year before they meet up with like Din and like find Cobb Vanth in the armor. Like what do they do for a year? So they're sitting around the campfire, and I'm just like, well, what did they do for a year now? It
Yeah.
takes them a year to find the armor that's literally on that planet.
Well, I mean,
guess if you
he
don't know
was
where
on-
it is, it's hard to track.
Yeah, he had no idea what happened to it. He was unconscious when it was taken off him, and then
Well,
the
he-
Jawas immediately beat the crap out of him.
He
And then
did
he was
see
dragged away by the Tuskens.
Mando riding away with his armor, right?
That's in season
That's-
2, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's way later.
That's way
So
later.
He just chanced upon that. He's
I
like,
really don't know
"Son of a
how
bitch,
later
that's
on
my
season
armor."
2 is.
But then,
I
like
think it's
that
only a few
one.
months.
But then, like, the random dude at the Gamorrean fight on, like, another planet is like, oh, yeah, there's a Mandalorian on Tatooine. Like, he knows Cobb Vanth exists, but Boba doesn't know this?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I know Boba's been off the grid for, like, a year. Like, now that he has, like, the ship back in the flashback, like, maybe, like, it's just fishy to me that there's, like, a full, like, gap now of just, like, okay, well, how did you guys still get there? I still have that question. So I would hope they do at least one more flashback, but they won't because they showed the whole, and then here's where we're in Mando. So it's like,
I think
don't
it's
think they're
open
going to.
I think it's open to it only because of Fennec's line, so remain open to the possibility of at least one more thing, because I really was hoping that there was more to that Camino scene than just him
Yeah.
touching the glass and being all sad. Because that's what we got in episode 2. It's just, oh, he's Boba Fett, and he's just young, and he's little. His dad
Maybe-
dies, and he's sad.
Maybe Fennec spent a year on the chopping table. Maybe that's why it took so long.
That took 90 seconds.
That
I'm just
took
kidding. That
so
was
long.
a montage. I mean, I kind of liked parts of it, but I agree. It was a little long.
That was I
For that-
thought it was interesting. I felt
I like about the B2 hand.
we
That was great.
went
Yes.
very
Yeah.
I was gonna bring up
So-
the B2 hand eventually.
Yeah,
Okay.
we were
I got a
very
photo.
outside of
To the mods, to the
Yeah.
positives.
First of all, to the mods. First of all, this dude is a musical artist called Thundercat, which is incredible. First of all, and the arm. I just
He did the beat
Guys.
for the. He did
Guys.
the music for what do you call it, for that scene. So like once you start hearing that
Yeah.
really cool bass line in the background
Yep.
and everything, that's
killed
all
it.
his work.
yes,
That's
which is
amazing.
I am
So-
obsessed with. You guys, I talk about this all the time on stream that I am convinced that Star Wars popular music is something that is like synthetically created, and hearing something that is this blend of like a good bass line with all these like beats to it, I'm just like, it's the validation of my entire thought process, and I love it. It's fantastic. But back
But-
to the arm, guys. It's the same.
It's similar. It's similar.
So you
It's
think
also a lot like a Mr. Gutsy, or no, what's his name, Mr. Handy's arms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buzzsaw,
The saw.
flamethrower,
Yeah.
and what was the last one? I can't remember. But like he has the
Um,
same 3 attachments that a Mr. Handy has. I thought that was fun.
I loved the look of like this place though. Like it was
I
it was
actually
so
thought
cool.
it was cool. I thought that
Very.
again we're going very mod heavy. Like look at
Yeah.
that guy with the suit and the tie, for crying out loud.
The suit and
good.
tie stuff
That's
is really weird.
that's a Ming-Na Wen's son actually.
Oh, that's cool.
Ooh.
That's a cool
Yeah.
detail.
So
But
Um,
I mean that's just like so totally outside of the realm of what we've seen before, and I really like it. You know me, I always like. I mean, Canto Bite's my favorite because I get to see aliens in tuxedos. I like tuxedos in Star Wars. I like
It's cool to
suits
see
and formal wear in Star Wars.
Future formal wear is always pretty cool.
The
the
yeah.
stuff
formal wear
that's
is
like
cool.
this doesn't look like it's Star Wars always
A long,
baffles
long
me
time ago,
because
formal wear.
you haven't seen all of the galaxy. Like who knows what's
Everything-
out there? It's like real life. There's trends. This comes in 30 years later. People dress differently. I
Just
like
remember,
that.
like everything was. This doesn't look like Star Wars before it eventually looked
Yeah.
like Star Wars. Like people
There'll always-
complained about the
always be
Naboo
something.
aesthetic in Episode 1 endlessly. That it doesn't
Yeah.
look like Star
Well-
Wars. The prequels don't look like Star Wars. Now they're like the most Star Wars stuff ever. Like people, it's
Yeah.
Empire,
synonymous.
Empire changed a lot of rules for the Force. I mean, before Empire, we didn't know that you could grab things with the Force. We didn't know that you could choke people across space with the Force.
We didn't know you could jump really fast in like a little blurry like effect. That's always.
We didn't know there was Force
So-
speed in Episode 1. Anyway,
Bottom line
never
is
used
here.
again.
Why stay within your own little circle when you can make the circle bigger, add new things, add new fashion, add new music? It's
Yeah,
I
I
don't know,
mean,
it makes
why
it more
not
interesting.
put mod culture on Tatooine?
yeah, it
I mean,
works.
it's fun. It's just
It might
like
it might
silly-
be misplaced in a way, but like
with a lot of
imagine like
sand, I just
There's
with
feels
a lot
like
of
it would get
sand
in
getting
there.
into your works.
But there's
I'd
people
probably
out
close
there-
that flap, Fennec. I wouldn't want.
there's
sand
probably
in my
people
belly.
out there that have like the New York City, LA vibe that are living in like middle of nowhere, Nebraska. So like I
That's
don't know.
true.
It's like real life.
live your truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, live
we're-
live
do what
who
you
you
want.
want to be
Cruising
where you
culture.
are.
Be
That's
you.
the
Well,
whole
they're
point.
That was
they're a
everywhere.
counterculture, and how do you be a counterculture in a hive of scum and villainy?
Yeah.
You go weird and formal, and you just do
Yeah.
it your own way.
If
Yeah.
anything, like if
That's
you
a
look
good
at
point,
also like
actually.
look at the sanctuary, Garza's place, like it looks nothing like what a normal Star Wars cantina would look like on Tatooine. Like it looks like something we'd see at like Canto Bight or on Coruscant. And so like I think that that's really cool that they're actually like including it within like this one thing and not just making Tatooine like this like it's the same place we've always seen. I like how they're making it seem like it's more vibrant than it has been ever before.
I also kind of like the mod culture kind of shows this shift that the New Republic brings, and I know I'm probably going like way out there, but
No, I like that.
the way
I know where you're
I
going.
look at it, you know, these kids, they don't have to go off to war, they don't have to fight or do anything, you know, they don't want to be moisture farmers. They're kind of just rebelling against this kind of like boring peace that the New Republic has brought. It's very 90s. The 90s was if you watch movies from the 90s, everything is like, oh, I don't want to grow up to be like my dad with a suit and tie in the suburbs. I want to
Yeah.
be, you know, radical and different.
And
And
have
it's like
ramen hair.
Yeah, and have ramen hair. That's all the 90s was. is you
Yeah,
wanted
it's
ramen hair.
Portland. It's Portland in space. That's what it is, okay?
Hey, okay.
You wanted
there
to
you go.
fight the system. You wanted to fight the boring peace, and that's what the New Republic basically is. We're in like space 90s for 30 years, doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So, just thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool detail.
I agree.
There we our weekly Breaking Bad comparison. So
Yeah.
I
yeah.
get Fennec is very
mean-
Mike Armentrout. So
She's very much just
She's just a
no
sniper.
hired
nonsense.
gun. Exactly.
No, nonsense. Okay. Yeah, sure. What?
But
What?
What are you
She's,
confu- what are
she's
you
not going to
confused
bullshit.
by?
No,
She's
no,
not
I
going to
get it.
bullshit
Just
Boba.
move on. Move on.
so
on.
we did the mod parlor. We talked about Thundercat.
This you got the reference. This thing is over. Look, I love Portlandia is one of my all-time favorite shows, like as well. So if I get a chance to like drop that, it took me that Matt's entire speech there not to start singing "The Dream of the '90s is Alive in Tatooine" because like that
Mos Espa.
that's what it is. The dream of the '90s.
We'll
is
cook something up,
alive in
maybe.
Mos Espa,
Ooh, Jonathan Banks in
Espa,
Star Wars would be great.
Espa.
Anywho, I wanted
I'm
to.
so out of
that's,
my depth right now.
that's a good.
Please bring it
Yeah,
back.
This is how we feel sometimes when you have stuff, Matt. But anyways,
That's true. No, that's very accurate.
I wanted to bring up Fennec. That's a good transition to Fennec. This was a big Fennec Shand episode. We get the flashback, learning about how she is found by Boba, gets the new stomach, which is
Yep.
cool.
I
And
really have
imagine
no
waking
idea
up
how
and
that
seeing.
works, but-
Imagine seeing you
She
have
was-
a robo stomach.
She was terrified.
pistons in your stomach,
She
and she's
was
That's
like,
very
terrified.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
and then Boba's just like, oh, drink this poop melon. She's like, oh, what have I woken up to?
It looked like it was,
acquired
it was a
taste.
stinky one again, like the Cobb Vanth one.
Yeah, what the
He
hell?
does. He
There's a
does say
difference
it's an
between,
acquired
like,
taste.
The stinky pods and like the regular black melons. I don't know what's going on there.
One
Just a
thing I
bad melon.
found wicked interesting that entire conversation was I thought for sure at one point Fennec was gonna be like, "You're a clone." Like I thought she was gonna like say something.
Yeah, I'm surprised
very
she
surprised
didn't
she
recognize
didn't.
him. She like looks at him. She's like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah.
"What do you mean, who am I?"
I really want. There's been in season 2 of Mando, they alluded to the best Boba Fett line ever. I think they'll know my face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was amazing. That was the best way. Whoever wrote that, Favreau or whoever wrote it, amazing. Good job.
People kept calling him a clone, like throughout the series.
Yeah, Bo-Katan did,
Well,
right?
the
Yeah.
Mandalorians would be very familiar with the clone army. I mean, you're talking about people who
Fennec should be
supposedly
too.
forget that Jedi exist.
Yeah.
You know,
That's true.
20 years after the Civil
True.
War.
Collective
Or
amnesia.
after Order 66. So they're pretty information just comes and goes as it needs.
The Empire sets up when the Death Star goes off. It was like the Men in Black memory thing. Everyone just
Yeah.
forgot.
It like
Everybody
did
was like,
though.
Jedi
Like,
clones.
I'm just like, nah.
Boba who? Well, I mean, I think there's a big thing about Boba and his armor, and like the question of him without the armor. It's the same thing with like Iron Man 3. Like who are you without that? And he's struggling with that in these flashbacks, and I think that's one of the more interesting parts about it. Is like he's still trying to he's like focused on trying to reclaim that identity still, even though he's also. It's also fair to say that he's dead set on giving up the more frustrating parts of his past, like he says when he's at the pit with Fennec, where he's like, where she calls him out, and in a way that I feel that a lot of critics of the show have, where they're like, "You've gotten soft with the Tuskens," and he's like,
"I've been strong. I've gone stronger."
And
like,
I
"It's
really
time."
appreciated that moment because, you know, it's like showing that you're stronger together than you are like on your own.
It's,
So-
it's cool. They're bringing, they're having like the Joe Schmoes of the galaxy rising up against.
It's a good point. Good point.
criminal
So-
underworld.
By Levi here. I think.
Levi's point here, upon rewatch, it kind of plays like they ran into each other in the past. And, like, I agree. Like, I definitely agree that they ran into each other in the past. But Boba wasn't... She never saw him without the helmet, so she didn't necessarily know what he looked like. I think that in this instance, she just saw a clone. So that's why she was like, who are you? Like, I have no idea who you are because I've seen this face, like, a million times before.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why she didn't straight up say, like, you're a clone. She was
Not to
just
mention
in
he
her
looks
head,
all
she
like
was like,
fried.
That's rude.
Right.
There's no
yeah.
without the eyebrows. You didn't recognize me without the eyebrows.
I really love those fire pit scenes because it was very much like a western, like
Yeah.
like Easy Rider. They're like that movie is built on its fire pit scenes, like when they're in between rides on the
The
bikes.
fire pits were dope in this, yeah.
Yeah, the lighting is. I'm just a sucker for that.
Where'd
that
they get the firewood?
ambient light.
That's all I'm asking.
Bad Batch.
It's
I see
Bantha patties.
Ooh,
Dimes brought up
alright.
Bad Batch. I'm
Bantha
guessing
That's a
Dragons?
good one. Oh God.
Bad Batch is going to premiere May 4th. May 4th is a
we
Wednesday.
I
we
think
have
that's a safe
confirmation that it's
bet.
going to
Spring.
premiere in the spring.
I would like April. It could premiere the same day as Lego Star Wars. How about that?
There you go.
Sure.
I don't know what day April
5th?
4th is.
April 5th. Yeah.
April 5th. Is that a Wednesday?
Let me check.
If it is,
Usually
then
Tuesday.
mark your calendars. Ah, it's a Tuesday.
Yeah, most video game releases are on Tuesdays or Thursdays.
Bad Batch April 6th. Let's go.
I think
Alright.
it'll be
It'll
May.
Definitely be a Wednesday sometime.
But
I
anywho,
want
sorry to get distracted.
Kenobi on May 4th. Whatever.
Double
Hey,
premiere.
maybe
all
this is
want
when they'll
Kenobi.
start doubling up shows. I
There's
think that's
no way they would
possible.
premiere Kenobi alongside the premiere of Bad Batch. That's
I mean,
that's bad. That's just a bad idea.
I don't know. It's. I mean, so
Do you
you
think
can make
they've
one
had good
argument
ideas
that
with marketing in the past.
No,
you
you're
can make the
absolutely right.
argument
This
that,
is the
that,
best
like you
May
want to stretch
4th
out that
ever.
content to keep
Yeah.
people subscribed, but you also want the opportunity to draw in new subscribers, and I think sometimes double dipping helps the sales and increases the numbers. So it's-
Increases the numbers.
Yeah, they'll definitely
Okay.
market
No,
it as like, oh, this is going to
increases.
be our most jam-packed May the 4th yet, and it's going to be 2 new shows premiering. I think that would be like make a lot of sense from their point of view, but then it'd be like, oh, now we got
It's
to put these
crazy
two
to me.
together.
I like what Levi
That-
says about this. The split season, like they used to do with Rebels, that might
yeah.
happen.
That's possible.
Oh no!
hate
It's
that.
crazy to me that
sure it's easier. on
Boba is the
animators,
current project, and we literally it's over in 3 weeks, unfortunately, and we don't know what the next thing is yet. That's crazy to me, and that's
That
on
is crazy
Lucasfilm.
to me. I mean, but that seems to be like the Disney Plus thing because even Moon Knight wasn't revealed until like a week or two ago.
We
Like
did
had
know
no
the
clue when
Marvel.
Moon Knight was coming
We
out.
did know the Marvel shows for like all of last year though, and when they were coming.
Well,
Right,
like,
but we
but at the
don't
same
really know them this year. We know
No, we
Moon
don't.
Knight, She-Hulk, and like a couple of others, but
Star
we don't
Wars
know
has
the
been
release
planning
Marvel.
2022 for like 3 years though. I'm surprised we don't have the dates. I know COVID got in the way and everything, but I don't know.
Anyway,
Where were we in
let's
the
talk
episode?
about this current show.
Campfires is
Yeah.
where we left off.
Yeah,
campfires.
campfires.
So they're like, I want my ship. I want the not slave one. Fire spray.
And then they
Fire
use that
spray
cool
now,
Get
little
over it.
Yep.
the ball
Ooh, the
that
little
senses
probe
everybody.
droid.
Although
Yeah,
it was always the fire spray.
Yeah.
In reality.
always has
but-
been.
Yeah.
Leave, Bantha.
Oh my god, that was such a good
Oh,
scene.
that was sad.
Oh, go make
Guys.
bad the babies.
Go make
have
back
fun.
the babies.
Guys,
I hope-
this is
I love
the
that Boba's
SpongeBob
an animal.
reference.
Not about the family.
Do you understand?
I do understand. Do it.
Yeah.
going.
Get out of here, dumb animal.
Get out of here, you dumb
you
animal.
dumb animal. And then
I
Patrick
didn't know.
walks
I
in.
didn't
Get
know you were
out
gonna
of
bring
here,
that
you
up.
dumb
That's good.
That's great. Where's the coin
We
slot?
stop.
There it was in the episode,
Oh my God.
and it was right there, right
That's
for the
what it
taking,
was.
guys.
Oh my
Like, come
Good
on,
job.
like, come on.
So
I need
that
to rewatch
man's
some
name is
SpongeBob, that's what I
Mystery.
need.
Yes, that is mystery.
That's Mystery.
Clone humor
Mystery.
passed the SpongeBob test as always.
We stop.
Oh,
do,
God.
do you think?
SpongeBob, what's the meaning of all these nicknames?
Yeah, we saw.
Oh
That's
God, I
Fennec.
could quote that whole episode.
Stop,
Oh,
stop,
what's with
stop.
all these nicknames?
Oh
Oh,
God, we gotta.
All right.
Okay, so she
Okay.
uses a
Jabba's
probe droid,
palace.
They go into Jabba's palace and they find that the
Marking all the enemies
And
like a
they
video
go in
game.
through the sewer, which is funny that there's the sewer entrance.
It's
right
always
there.
the sewers.
oh.
Matt and I, Matt,
Well, it's
and
not hot sewer
and Chad
usage.
have been trying to figure out what Jabba's palace looks like to build it in Minecraft. Chad's probably screaming at us in the chat because we've left him hanging on Minecraft for like months.
I'm sorry,
One day,
Chad.
one day.
One day, Chad. Jabba's palace is gonna be beautiful. I can't wait.
It is.
Finland wastes.
Everybody's invited.
Everyone's invited. It's gonna be better than Maz's castle. Not really,
Ooh,
but
that's impossible. But
everyone's
it'll
invited
be
to that
close.
party on Takadana. But yeah, the palace was cool to see. Are we going in proper order?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're like, I
Oh
want my ship.
no. Can I?
Oh,
That
no,
guy
no.
was
No,
the
no, no.
best. I've
Yeah.
loved the droids in this show. Between train engineer droid, this
Train
guy,
engineer droid.
those are
Rat
kind of like newer
catcher.
ones.
Oh, the Boston
And we
Dynamics
gotta-
droids.
And the
Yep.
little rat
Yeah.
catcher elevator. It's just
Yes, and
Comes in with
here
the
he is.
spatula or whatever he has.
Uh,
The little net.
Ah,
Oh my
I
God.
can't do it.
First
I
of all,
can't go on.
I want to
I
talk
love
about
him.
that chopping droid. I
Oh,
find it,
General Chef Nobi.
I
That's what I'm
find it
calling
very
him.
impressive that they found a kitchen droid who's trained in the Jedi arts, for one thing,
yeah,
For real.
because that's what the Jedi arts are.
I want to
right?
see him and
According to kind of
him and
according to
Dex
Grievous.
Iron Chef
General
showdown.
Grievous. You just spin. You just go crazy.
I bet
You are-
Grievous,
yeah, an Iron Chef.
One day he's just Count Dooku's just like, just do this.
Read the High Republic, dude. The Galactic Bake Off or whatever it's called. Is
I didn't
coming
get to that issue yet. I'm sure
literally just
Levi's
came
read
out,
it.
like,
We-
yesterday.
we-
I
we
didn't get
didn't
to it.
spoiler alert that.
up. No,
Seriously.
it's a special event. They literally called it the Great Galactic Bake Off. I can't. There's no spoilers in the title.
Big event.
Fair.
Oh, well, spoiler alert! You guys ruined the comic. No, I'm
Ooh, the
kidding. It came out
comic.
yesterday. So, oh yes, we made this. Anyway,
Say.
so
So yeah, we have
the
the
palace.
Kenobi or
I'm
the
Boba Fett.
Grievous droid. We
We had
have
a
you get-
the
demoted
other
Eve,
droid.
maybe Evie, but probably not. But it looked like.
Did you
I think
guys
it's
see
EV.
this?
I think
Little
it's
frog?
EV99.
Hey,
I don't
It
know.
sounds exactly like EV99.
But EV99 was voiced by Richard Marquand, so it
Who's
wasn't
EV99?
quite.
But this guy sounds exactly like
It's
like
the,
Mark
the
Hamill.
droid that sassed R2 and
Yeah.
made him the server droid.
You'll be on the master's sail barge.
Sail barge.
Oh,
He's so, dude,
Yeah.
such a good droid, such a distinct voice. And when I saw him, I immediately kept my ear out and was like, "This sounds exactly
It's a
like
great-
EV99."
it's a great-
It's an actual recipe.
And Mark Hamill didn't do an EV99 voice when he voiced an EV droid in The Mandalorian,
You're right.
because he was
Yeah.
the EV droid in the cantina. So I think this was EV99. Thank you, Chad.
Confirmed.
I'm willing to, yeah, like I'm willing to go for that too. Yeah, like what else? Like he's got two of those. I mean,
This is
maybe
true.
a broken one, but the likelihood of he was doing fine. Maybe he bumped up when Bib took over. He's like, I would like to be a sous chef, and
Yes,
Bib's like,
that was his
go
real
for
dream.
it.
He, oh my God, he was suffering so much.
What
in
kind
that- in
of
that
tea would
torture
you like,
chamber.
sir?
He was
I'm
actually
lost.
super excited for
Boba!
R2D2.
Jack and Matt are just going back and forth like
Oh my God,
voice
R2
acting here.
gets to serve drinks. I'm so jealous. I wish I could serve drinks.
Did you guys
I know,
see the
right?
frog?
The frog.
Did
Grogu
you see
did.
the frog?
Grogu saw the frog.
It's the
No
same
froggo.
like one-eyed frog that Grogu eats, and
The
it's
only
on all the
frogs.
little merch now with him.
Spit it out.
Loved it. Loved that.
Levi, don't poke holes. It was EV99. I don't care. I don't care what
Oh, boy.
subtitles say. Are subtitles even canon?
What?
Probably.
Is
They
that
are.
true?
They are.
I'm gonna go
They
back and
definitely-
rewatch. I'm gonna go back and rewatch that episode.
Yeah,
now. I'm very
this
curious.
Either
is
way,
me. This is you guys, and then this is me.
That was good.
either way,
Well
EV99
done.
gets into the service industry, and that's all that matters at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
I'm living
Yes,
for that.
industry.
It's more
Yes,
likely than him
industry.
going to frickin' Mos Eisley and breaking into the cantina.
So anyway,
Uh,
one-eyed
so Boba-
frog. Great.
Boba
One-eyed frog.
beats the bag at everyone with
Oh
Fennec.
my God, I felt so
He
bad
spooks
for
the
that
crap
rat
out of that
catcher.
little rat catcher.
I will
Hey,
say
He's
this.
there in the
Hello.
end. He survived.
Yes, he did. But this
Spooked him.
episode had way too much droid violence for my taste. Way too much droid violence. One big
That's
one
fair.
coming up soon that I'm very,
Oh,
No.
very mad about.
Do we have a picture of
I will not.
I
Long
have
gone.
it.
No.
long
This
gunk?
is the only picture
Long
I have
gone.
because I refuse to show what happened.
Those were his final thoughts right there.
Why, Fennec? Why, Fennec?
If I had a
Why?
cigarette, I'd like
Look.
that tuned to the full Russian meme.
It's
Honestly,
Everyone pour one out for the.
going out for long donk.
long gone.
Long gunk. It's like, oh my god, it's a 3-legged gunk or a 6-legged gunk. I know
Stretch
some friends who
gunk.
might want to do that.
I think there's an actual name
put a
for like a
string
long
in
donk
between
droid, and I
them.
don't know what it is.
It's E for extra power.
But they did exactly what they do in Jedi Outcast and Jedi Knight, which is explode.
There it is.
Don't know that from
And
Jack,
experience.
you-
if it's
Everybody
You
tested.
go-
explodes when they're shot. Jack.
And
I think last
Rookies.
week was the only time you didn't mention Jedi Outcast on the stream. Your streaks ended last
Damn,
week.
I'm
but
not-
And now
I'm-
your
I'm
streak has
slacking.
ended.
unless
I'm
I missed it
slacking.
last week, I might have missed
No,
it.
I don't think I did, but
Damn.
Oh, it's a plunk
any case,
droid.
now it's
Thank
back.
you, Levi.
A
Plunk?
plunk.
Plunk droids. The long ones are called plunk droids.
Plonk.
plonk, plonk.
Clunk.
It
I
worked.
like Clunk. So he
I
gets
love
the Slave 1 fire spray back.
The Slave 1 fire spray. That's a good compromise. Let's just
Jamie,
put
did you
that.
have
Yeah.
did you have the Austin Powers meme, or did that get
No,
lost
I
in the
don't.
ether?
Oh.
I got lost in the ether.
Someone made the Austin Powers trying to back out the car, and that was Boba.
Oh, that's
Oh my
perfect.
god, yeah,
That is perfect.
That was great.
We
What a
hate
tense
to miss.
scene.
That,
Ugh.
I have to admit, the slave 1's really strong. Really strong. To
It
bust
is.
through like
I was worried about those
stone
cannons.
walls. Yeah.
Well, the
Those
Falcon,
cannons, by the
the
way.
Falcon busts through like that ice wall in Rise of Skywalker. But
True.
That's a
That's
different story.
Do you think that
But-
skiff was the one that Bib bounced out on after the Great
Seems to be
Barge
the only
disaster?
one left. so,
Probably.
Had to be.
Yeah,
yeah, definitely.
yeah. Too bad it's.
Well, apparently you did
Toast
mention
now.
Jedi Outcast last week. The
I
streak
did.
lives.
Hey,
Dimes, we need you
Dimes,
to keep
thanks for
track of
keeping
these.
me. Thanks for keeping me honest.
There we go.
Uh,
So the Slave 1 tears out of
so
there.
this was a great shot.
This was great.
Oh
And
my
I-
god!
Oh my god.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Levi
Everyone's
probably
dream,
knows or
right?
someone, but in the trailer we get that shot of the bikers going.
It's just the
and
wider version of it. It's before the
The
ship
Slave
appears.
1's not there. Yeah. So
Just
I
like when
love
it
it.
starts
Banana.
appearing, and it's just like.
It's just like, oh,
Jamie
there
and
they
I
come.
thought Jamie and I thought the power move would have been go past all of them and then drop the bomb
Drop the
back
charge.
on top of
Absolutely.
them. But they saved
We'll
that
get to
for the
that.
Sarlacc.
I
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah, we'll get
love
there.
that we cut to Boba going, I have some scores to settle. He mows down
And it's
the
just that.
entire biker gang, and then he goes to the Sarlacc, and I'm like, damn, this guy really has some scores to settle.
I thought that was his
Metal.
intent was to drop it,
yeah,
but then he's
I was
like, "Where's my armor, dude?"
Yeah, he was like looking in for his armor, and I was
see
like,
it?
no, dude, you have scores to settle. Bomb this Sarlacc.
Hold on. You see
The
it?
whole
Yeah, right?
sequence
There
was
it is, there
Boba
we
not
go.
being able.
Hovering over
Boba
it.
couldn't see out of the ship the whole time.
POV, you're the Sarlacc.
This is Matt and I looking at the Xbox
Oh my god, not again. Don't
with the
remind me of
flashlight.
the biggest failure.
Nothing jumped out at us though, really.
No. Just a lot
I
of
got
death.
scared. Okay, I'm not happy that there was like that much of a jump scare in it. Like it was very obvious that there was going to be a jump scare, but I was not a fan. Like that's like in our like reaction from like AJ and I. AJ was like so asleep still that morning. He like didn't react,
was.
but I'm
I was
literally
so
sitting there
tired.
and I was like, so
Can I
This
just
show,
okay,
this show's making me relive my fears with the Rancor and the Sarlacc, and
Ooh,
just-
can I just ask?
The Rancor's a good boy.
How does the
good boy.
Sarlacc
He's a good
beak work? Because the Sarlacc beak seems to be separate from the stomach, or at least like its own entity
I
that
don't
can
know.
tuck into the stomach. And
I think
the
there was some-
Sarlacc beak
Matt, I think there was
swallowed-
some shrinkage involved.
Yeah.
Well, it's
the
a really
Sarlacc
cool
beak
marriage.
swallowed
I was in the
Boba.
pool.
Well, like so, the Sarlacc beak didn't exist until the special edition,
Well,
as
yeah,
we
I
all
know.
know. So I think
But now
that's
we have
really
to-
cool that it marries the two in a neat way, and it makes it more like an anglerfish in a way, or like there's like species of like sandfish that will do that too, where they'll set up a trap and they'll wait for some poor soul to come along and they chop. And so
I'm curious about how does the Sarlacc beak work? I don't know how
Great.
it works.
that's
Great
I think
SpongeBob
that's
reference
its
here.
stomach, and then like it has the tentacles around, and like it has that as like its like outer mouth essentially. I don't know, like you know how Alien the Xenomorph like it has like two mouths, like it's like
Yeah.
its outer mouth, and there's like its inner mouth.
So then why was
And-
Boba peering in for his armor in the outer mouth? Because he got swallowed by the beak. He should
Who
be
can-
looking into the beak.
This conversation's making me wonder who would best run
This
the
week
Steve
on Star Wars
Irwin-
biology.
Thank you. Yeah, who would run the best like Steve Irwin style, beasts of Star Wars. We've talked about this many times already on
Boba.
the show.
That's
to
what
beat
Boba's
it-
doing after he
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
cleans up
I'd like that.
Tatooine.
He's
Book of
an
Boba
animal
season
lover,
2.
big animal fan.
We got here Sarlacc. This one
Look
gave
at
me a
this.
lot of
He's
trouble.
got
Look at
big
this bantha.
accent. He's got a
He's a
good
big
accent for it.
bantha. He's gonna make big bantha babies.
Can't.
Uh,
This is another random side note, but I love how Boba's bantha was a girl, and he's like, "Oh, there you go, hey girl," and whatnot. And but I didn't know that female banthas have horns, which I found super interesting because, like, I don't know, isn't that like
I think some species
Usually-
of ram and cows can have that too.
I know
It's-
nothing
it's not
about
as
bovines, so I could
synonymous.
not like.
bovines. Yeah.
Aren't
don't know.
banthas bovines though?
I'm speaking from
Do
having thought
bovines
about this.
exist in Star
a while.
Wars?
I mean,
don't
blue milk
know.
is bantha milk.
Exactly.
This is
I
true.
assume, we
Okay.
assume.
Well,
Is
there
that
we go.
confirmed?
So
I think it's confirmed that
How do you
blue
milk a
is
bantha?
milk.
Never mind.
Under
We
the-
already
Blue
got
milk,
that
the
flag.
blue
flag.
milk is bantha milk, I think. So,
That's my
I
belief.
stand
Matt,
corrected. Anyway,
Starlight question for you.
I'm just thinking of bantha boobies now. Sorry, please move on.
Well, that's why I love to bring that up whenever someone complains about
Uh.
Last Jedi. It's like, how do you think blue milk's made?
Exactly.
Oh man.
From shrinkage to that. What a
so yeah,
segment.
again, this is me. This is you. This is me.
I really want to talk about that scene.
So-
What did you have to say, AJ?
The Sarlacc in
Yes.
Aftermath
Yeah.
isn't the Sarlacc dead?
Yes. The Sarlacc is
There we go.
dead with a hole in its stomach. I'll
Maybe-
say that this is like third hand because
Crimson Dome.
Third beak.
because what's his name? Cobb Vanth hears it from the Jawas, who tell him, "Oh yeah, we found this Sarlacc in the middle of the desert with a hole in its stomach and a destroyed skiff, and we dug the armor out of that." So things they're different. They're in
So-
Things are
flux.
muddy.
They thought
know
maybe
what,
that the
though?
Sarlacc was dead, but it wasn't dead. Now it's dead again.
But you know what? Now maybe, because we don't know when Cobb got the armor, and then how long he had it, and then when he met Din Djarin. So maybe this armor is just with the Jawas for like 4 years.
Well, yeah, it is.
And
Oh.
then Cobb
Well, no.
finds it, and
Cobb
then
leaves
Jawas,
the bar when the Death Star blows up.
Yeah,
True.
We know that.
That lines
He can't
up
wander the
exactly.
desert.
So
for
he
4
has
years.
it
Yeah,
for the
that's
5
true.
years. Okay.
He wandered the
Unless
desert for
he
days.
also
I
wandered
wandered for days.
Everyone's just
So it's
straight into
days.
the desert.
That's a good point, Levi. The Jawas didn't want to be like, yeah, we beat this guy up in the middle of the desert and stole his armor. They
True.
were like, oh, we found it in a Sarlacc.
They ain't snitches.
They didn't
That's
want to.
snitch.
They
At
didn't
least
want to
that's what we
squeal to the
think they
future
said.
marshal.
Yeah, right.
Also, this is the reason we have to do a 9 p.m. show now, guys. It's
That's true.
too inappropriate. So,
Not for kids.
so
no.
yeah, I wanted to bring that up to you, Matt, since you're the aftermath.
No, that was a good point because I was thinking about that a lot
Yeah.
last night and today, and I'm going to continue to think about it for a while.
And now we can get to the big boy. Just kind of he ran away from Boba after he
Oh,
freed
my
him,
God.
ran straight to the sanctuary to drink his sorrows away and watch Trandoshans win Sabak or whatever
And
they're
then
playing.
get mad at them.
And do we have
Which
photos
is
of this?
fair.
I.
Or do we
What
just
scene?
have?
That was such a
Sabak.
good scene.
Do we just have the
one.
plant?
You're just being
I
a little
have
racist.
this one.
Oh
That
my god,
works.
those Trandoshans, those
Whoa.
Trandoshans crack me up. I don't know
Look
what
at
it
that
is
Cobb
about their
Vanth
face.
look-alike in the back.
Don't get me started about that.
Holy crap! That's Cobb Vanth. I'm going to say that's.
No.
Cobb
That
Vanth.
it's
is
not.
confirmed. Look at the haircut and the scarf.
Look at that. Go back. That's Cobb Vanth. That's
Don't
100%
no, it's
Cobb Vanth.
it's not.
It is.
Is it though?
That's Cobb
It's-
Vanth.
Hey,
It's fake Cobb Vanth, just like fake Mace Windu.
Oh,
Does
no,
he
not
have?
fake
Does
Mace
he have
Windu.
high
Fake
roller
Cobb.
casino money?
He's
Yes.
undercover.
You see,
Who's gonna let
Moscalgo
that
gathered all of
scruffy
their
herder in? I love
money.
him, but
They needed like a new silo or something, so they sent the marshal out
a
to,
new
to
silo.
bet everything on red to win money to pay for the silo. That's what they did. He's on a mission right now, actually.
well, it can't be any worse than when the time they took on the Great Dragon.
Well, true.
This is a good question. Were those Trandoshans the ones that, or was one of them one of the ones that Boba said he worked for?
No,
Or
I think that
or was he
No.
just drunk and
this is a
angry?
race. This is a racism thing, or like
Well,
a
That's-
speciesism
okay, that was
thing.
my other point.
He,
It's a-
he's
it is
mad
what it
because
is.
Trandoshans, as we saw in the Clone Wars,
Yeah,
they
they hunt
were
Wookiees.
they
They
were
hunt Wookiees.
slavers. They were
Okay.
Wookiee slavers, and he got kicked out of Wookiee society for being a little too violent with them, killing Trandoshans. So
I will-
He certainly likes to practice that.
I will
'Cause
say
it-
this. It's funny. My dad, I watched the show with my parents yesterday, and my dad and my mom both turned to me and he's like, "Why is he doing that? Why did he rip that Trandoshan? Like, why is he attacking them?" And I was like, "Oh, that's because Trandoshans hunt Wookiees." And I went into like this whole thing, and so my dad went into work today, and one of his coworkers was like, "Why did that black Wookiee guy rip that guy's arm off?" And my dad was like, "Well, you see."
You should have told him to tune in to HoloNet Marauders Live, where they talk about Crimson Dong and
Oh my
hit the
God.
boots.
Listen. I know why. Because they didn't let the Wookiee win. He was sitting there all alone drinking.
true.
They could have invited him
You have
in
to share
and
your
then let
winnings.
him win.
May I just add, I love when Wookiees drink something. Like
Yeah, I love how
Eh,
it just gets everywhere.
in Solo, Chewie's double fisting the champagnes on the yacht,
And
and
like
then
eating like the shrimps, and it's like
yeah,
ugh.
making a mess because like it's like Gimli in Lord of the Rings too. Another Lord of the Rings reference of the week, and he's drinking and the beer's going everywhere. The ale.
I'm
But,
curious
Yeah.
what
Rings of
place
power. What? Hmm?
Is it Eunice
What?
or
No.
That
we've been off topic enough?
that transition though,
Sorry.
he's totally fine because they grow their arms back.
Yeah.
They can
yeah.
grow
Yeah,
their limbs
he's
back, so
fine.
he's fine. If anybody was gonna get their arm ripped off, have it be him.
I think
Well
that
done,
also
Matt,
it was
well done.
another Boba says to him, "Don't work for Skug Holes," and so he just goes to the bar just to literally to rethink his life because he doesn't know
Yeah.
what he wants to do, and then he sees this and then he remembers everything that's happened to him in the past, and it just kind of builds, and so he has that like his own reasoning, and to anyone outside of there, it's just like, oh, it's just a violent Wookiee. Here we go. But like, yeah.
Did anyone
He's-
else
he's a
feel
good
that Garza Fwip's whole monologue felt a little what's the word I'm looking for? Expository.
Yeah.
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 Oh, for sure.
I liked it though. It was nice, but it
I
was.
mean,
And Jessica Biel sold the crap out of it. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
that was
and,
it.
And expository dialogue in Star Wars. I mean, Episode 1 is entirely made up of expository dialogue, and it's my favorite one. So who am I to say?
She's so smooth.
I titled this
know.
picture "Same Shit, Different Day,"
I love. Oh, that's good. That's good.
because
Case
that's
of the
what it
Mondays.
is.
Am I right?
Yep. Yeah.
We got confirmation that is indeed Max.
Yes.
Thank
Yes.
God. Thank God. I mean,
Hit it,
Go ahead,
Max.
who else would it be? But thank
It's good to know.
God
Ooh.
we have confirmation.
We forgot an Easter egg, Jamie. The Yuzum. Forgot to bring up the
Oh,
Yuzum.
yeah.
Schooling like a
Yeah.
Yuzum.
Leave him like a yoke.
So,
So-
for context, because I didn't pick this up at all, the second first, it wasn't until AJ even mentioned it. So, Boba asks Fennec in like the real timeline, what's the major domo saying? What's the mayor's major domo saying? Has he spoken? And she says he's been singing like a Yuzum, and a Yuzum is this guy.
Yeah. Spitting on the camera. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's
I don't
what a
have
Yuzum
a limiter
is.
on this. I'm trying not to yell.
Hit it,
All right.
Max.
Anyway,
Oh, that's so good.
yeah. One,
We can only
So
one
that
more.
leaves us.
So
with
that
the big-
leaves us with this.
That does leave us with
Hey.
this.
I'm
Boba
And-
just happens to walk in.
sorry. The
And-
Trandoshans looked
Go back to
silly,
that
and
second
I'm
one.
not mad about
Yeah.
it, but I
What, has he
couldn't
got some
stop
Jordans
giggling
on?
at their expressions.
Some
Some
Converse.
boots. Just some boots.
I agree,
Oh no,
Jack.
I know what those are. Those look like Skechers. Those look
Oh,
like
really?
Nando's
Just like
boots.
Mando wears.
I'd guarantee
Yeah.
that they're Skechers because
swear.
shows
I'd
use
guarantee
common
it.
brands.
Oh my
That
God.
looked like Blaine Orson's, which is the boots that Mando uses.
One more time. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
I know
Jack,
that
the
scene.
Trandoshans, their eyes are very like
It's not only that,
Animated.
but their faces are like back, and they're like those,
they all have like the
which is
bun
very
face.
lizard. And like, I'm not saying it looks bad, but I couldn't stop giggling at their expressions.
Yeah,
Of
they're
the
great.
costumes of these.
It works for
Trandoshans.
me.
Yeah,
It
it
is
works for
silly.
me too. They're just like, meh. So like when he's like, meh, no, don't do it. I'm
Yeah,
just
that
like,
one.
Meep,
yeah, do it.
Meep.
meep,
Meep.
meep, meep,
Meep,
meep.
meep, meep,
Meep. Meep.
Meep, he's a geek.
meep.
Oh my God.
So to,
Anchovies.
Boba's like, hey, BK, come on to the palace for dinner. We're having a big meeting.
No,
Essentially.
I love how he's just like, you need a job?
Yeah.
That's it. I love how Boba's just out
Boba's
here
not a
hiring
Skug Hole.
everyone. He's just out here hiring everybody. The,
You
the
get
They
to
mods,
call
he
him
You get a
Black
job.
Chrysanthemum.
He has-
He's gonna be mayor. He's got a good platform. He's a job maker.
I love it when Star Wars is goofy. You're right, Chad. But we get the big dinner. What'd you guys think of the big dinner?
I thought it
Did
was
it
cool.
It was
It
cool.
was good. It was
I
very
thought having the
Godfather.
Rancor
Very
like right
Godfather.
underneath.
Yeah,
all
very
seem
timely
Very
Rancor.
Godfather.
How
Do
did
you
no
thi-
one notice
Is Danny
that?
Trejo just down there like, all right, this is your
Yeah,
moment?
yeah.
That's
right?
what I
Okay.
think exactly what happened. Because they're like, what makes us trust you? And Danny Trejo's down there like, now! Do it! Hit it! I said
The
that
pikes
last
are the
week with the
anchovies. You're
anchovies
right.
and the pikes. That's
Oh
exactly
yeah,
what they
we even
are.
made a meme about it. So
That's
there it is.
true.
Yes, we did.
It looked like the food was tasty. I don't know. Do you think they rebooted the droid back up to just keep cooking back there? Who's
Yes.
cooking?
My
It's a
God, the
simple
droid
solder job.
killed
Fennec was
himself.
very clear. You know.
Jeez.
Because one
No,
head was
no.
sliced out. The other
guy
one
was
was
just
just
doing a
kind of
little
like
switch.
dislocated. So like
Yeah.
Maybe
how
the
are you
rat
gonna-
catcher's doing everything now.
Jack, how are you going to switch it back on?
we know those guys can do this.
Hey.
You
Yes,
press the
the
button
fruit.
in the other position, and then you very calmly say, "Hey, oh, it's all right, Boba's not here. Boba's not here, but he does live here, so you're gonna have to deal with that. But don't worry, it's not like that."
And then he
I
scurries
imagine that
under the
conversation
table
when he got
for
woken
rats.
back up eventually.
There's
Did
lots
we-
of rats in Jabba's palace. Lots of regular
lot
rats.
of
not even
rats.
womp
Makes sense.
rats.
The
Glad
sewers,
that they
like-
had
that lep
a
is slacking.
The sewer's like
catcher.
in the basement, so it makes sense.
That's
But-
why you
It's
don't
in
send
the
a rat
sewer.
to catch rats.
Boba is building a team, and if you guys remember, I don't think it was that bold of a prediction because we knew half of it, but I predicted Black Chrysanthemum would join his team.
Mm.
Din Djarin would join his
Yeah.
team,
Yeah.
and Cobb Vanth was there to join Boba and
course.
Fennec. So that's a team of what, 5? I lost
I
count.
must say, Boba being a hotshot gangster putting together a team is
3
pretty-
moons plus 2 suns of Tatooine equals 5. That's 5 characters.
I smell a
So
heist.
there we go. Illuminati.
That's incredible.
And you know what that means?
That
Jay,
is. I pulled that out of nowhere.
We had a ton of Mandalorian
Son of
references.
a bitch, I'm in.
Son of a bitch.
You son
You
of a
son
bitch.
of a bitch.
Oh my god!
I
So how do
can't
we-
wait
pumped
for
that-
it, though.
How do we think this
So
goes
pumped.
down?
So it
Who
was
makes
funny,
the
when
call?
when that happened, I knew that in my heart that they were gonna cut to black, but I still like raced over back to the TV because I stepped away for a second. I'm like, and then I cut, and I'm like,
Of course.
He ran away, put the helmet on, ran back, and then looked. So
Yeah.
that's why I was away. Yeah, that's why I stepped away. I had to
Oh,
Big
say,
shot
gosh.
gangster putting together a crew.
Thank you, Levi. Somebody picked up on that.
yeah. I'm looking excited for it. I feel like it's gonna be Boba to reach out because Fennec is just like, hey, like you have some contacts
Mando.
and we just helped a guy, so I think that he'll reach out to him and like maybe we'll see like it actually like phone call wise, and so like we'll see like what Din is doing. That would be
Like the split
Ideal.
screen,
Actual
like
phone.
90s
Yeah,
TV
yeah.
phone
Yeah.
conversation.
Just like-
The
drinking
slant,
away his
Once
sorrows.
somebody's on the other side, like Mando's
What
on
do-
his bed, kicking his feet up.
What do
you
we think
want?
Din's up to right now?
he's
I'd be
crying because
depressed.
Grogu's gone.
Yeah, he's a post foster care dad. How do you think he feels?
Or he's just sitting there in like its dark space, just like staring at the darksaber because he's just like,
Yeah, I
He's like,
honestly
Yeah.
don't know. I think
this thing has
I
ruined
think
my
he's
life.
probably with a bunch of other Mandalorians, and they're getting ready to like build a
You
team.
think him and Bo have worked that out off screen?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I think
probably.
I think
I don't want
Bo-Katan
them
is.
to work that out off screen.
Well, they're not going to work it out. She's going to secretly like loathe him or like
Yeah.
watch that
Watching
sword,
closely.
like, a whole season. It's going to be like I don't want to say Game of Thrones kind of thing, but it's going to be very
Similar.
like
It's
You
for
know.
the
My
power of
queen.
an entire planet. It's
Yeah.
about like family struggles within Mandalore.
you don't think
Oh,
he'll
yeah.
have the
Very Game
saber
of
lead?
Thrones.
You're gonna see it like peek at the bottom, like it's like.
I will say I want him to have the saber just to keep the streak going.
I think I'll
Every
have to see
single
I think I'll have to say
live action Star Wars property has had at least one lightsaber ignite.
Where would he
On
where would he
screen.
leave it? If he was to arrive and he didn't have it, like where would he feel comfortable leaving it? That would be my biggest question.
I
Like,
think he
where would he
definitely has
leave it?
Like strapped.
Yeah,
to the
it's so
side.
easy to just put it on your belt and just carry it around with you. I think that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
though he's walking around like I don't want this.
Yeah,
I don't
Yeah,
want this.
exactly.
Somebody take this.
Bo,
He's-
please take it.
Somebody
Please.
beat me up.
He'll-
He walks up to Black Chrysanthemum. He's like, "Can you just beat me up so you can take this?"
Oh, Bo will be real happy when he comes back. He's like, so Black Chrysanthemum's now Mandalore.
Just
It's
whip
like
his
in like
arm.
Halo or something when you have the gravity hammer and you're like, by the way, the other team has it now, so but they have Black Chrysanthemum. So.
Oh man, flashbacks.
But I'm
But
super
yeah,
excited
so
for next week now.
we
Me
get the drop of that's where Din was in the middle of the episode. We saw the little frog, which is what Grogu eats, and then we see at the very end, or we hear at the very end that it's just gonna be that it's him. I think it's just gonna be him. I don't think it's gonna be any other Mandalorians yet because personally,
I
I don't
agree.
think that he has been like running with Bo-Katan because like they're not on good terms at the end of.
He might be
season
chilling
2.
with Grief. Who knows?
Yeah,
Din,
if,
well, but
don't
like Grief hangs out in Navarro, so I mean, Din does his thing and he goes where he feels
Yeah.
is convenient for him, and it's going to get him either time killed or money for whatever he needs for his next scheme. I think he's probably just trying to keep busy without Grogu because that was his life for like a year and a half.
Right.
And without that, I mean, does he really want to go back to bounty hunting? I mean, even when he knew the Coven, he didn't really hang out there very much.
Yeah.
He just went there every now and then and get some upgrades, and then all right, see you guys later. I'll totally be back for dinner.
Yeah. I don't know. It could really be anything. And Levi said he thinks it runs parallel to season 3 of Mando. It could.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
I
hope
think
so.
I think
That'd be
season 3
cool.
of Mando would take place after this, but
I
don't know.
think this is probably I don't know.
And in between.
That's a good point.
We'll see.
They know we're
Anything's on the
hungry and
table.
curious for what he's up to, so I'm sure it'll tie in some way, shape, or form, or at least give us the hints that we're desperately craving. As a costumer, I just hope that he hasn't changed anything, so that I don't have
Hey,
to make any
but it's
decisions.
exciting when they add things. You it gives
It's,
you
No,
it
it's
does give me more
not.
work.
It
It's
hurts your wallet.
exciting, but it's not.
It's yeah. It's Jamie knows how I feel.
I'm speaking from the character that didn't change his outfit between 2 movies, and you guys are like crying.
I can't tell you
Hey.
how relieved I was when season 2 came out and it was just a thigh plate and he brought the meat thing back. I was like, oh, thank God.
Last Jedi Kylo Ren and Rise of Skywalker Kylo Ren. Rise of Skywalker gained a hood and he doesn't even use it.
I know. Rest in
And
peace.
it's really wet
Why?
in that movie, and he doesn't use the hood.
Really wet tape.
It doesn't make any sense. But anyway.
Somebody asked me the other day, or yesterday, I
this.
guess it was.
I like this a lot.
That's good. That's good.
Paper. You always choose paper. I know.
Somebody asked me, they were like, "Do you think Mando would come in and overshadow Boba's show?" And I was like, "Well, Boba came in and sort of overshadowed Mando's show, so it kind
Yeah,
of balanced
so
it out."
turnabout's
Payback's
fair
a
play,
bitch.
guys.
I
Yeah.
saw like a good post earlier that was just like the Mandalorian kind of created, since it was an original character for a show, it kind of took everything from Boba's comics, and then now that we have like a show about Boba, it's like, okay, so what is this character now? Because it kind of took everything from the comics that was the source material about Boba Fett, but they kind of made it into Din Djarin. But obviously there are differences. Like, he's not a clone.
Yeah.
But then other things as well. So like I've like seen like that criticism come up recently, how it's like maybe like Din Djarin is what Boba Fett was like supposed to be, but it's like whatever. They're 2 totally different guys, and sure, they're both Mandalorians and they're both bounty hunters, but they both have totally different paths.
Yeah.
I will say it's just been refreshing to finally have a a Filoni related show, and like in this part of the universe that's not about a lone wolf and a sweet child that softens his heart. As much as it was great and it's still well executed everywhere that we've seen it so far, it's not something I want run into the ground.
The closest we've gotten is Boba
Rancor?
and his bantha.
Yeah.
I was going to
that's
say his
true.
Rancor.
That too.
And the
Oh,
Rancor.
yeah, and the
That
Rancor.
He's just
Boba and
adopting
the
all
animals.
the pets.
They're
I
gonna.
do love that
I
he's an animal lover. I think that's the funniest thing.
just can't wait to see him ride that. Oh, it's gonna be great.
Ooh.
That's gonna be fun.
It'll probably be like the finale, right? Or the
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does say to Fennec, because she's like, why would you want to like run a family, or why would you want to start a crime family? Because then he pretty much like says why he would want her to help as well, because he like doesn't want to like be in it just for himself anymore. He wants to create that family because he found that having the family with the Tusken Raiders is more important kind of than just doing your own thing and being out for yourself, which I think is very cool that
Yeah.
he's grown that much.
Oh yeah.
We're going back to the found family idea.
Yeah,
It's always-
found
it's always
family
the
is
best
always
sprinkle
Sprinkled
good.
in there
Star
somewhere.
Wars.
Yeah.
It's a very, very prevalent theme in Star Wars. Every single story pretty much has that. And how couldn't you? I mean, that's mostly what all stories are about.
Can we all agree?
Hello,
Yes.
hello.
Hello, my friends.
But it's,
He better.
but it's
That'd
the
be great.
animatronic from Galaxy's Edge. They just like wheel him in.
It just starts sparking.
Hello,
If it's the
hello,
one that
my
they used in
friends.
the little hologram screen when you're about to go on, then I will
Yeah,
cry
there you
tears
go.
because that version haunts my nightmares.
Oh my god.
What
Hey,
I was
but
gonna
they
say,
do have a costume somewhere,
there
What
is.
do you got, Jamie?
I was gonna say, can we all agree that this looks like Matt?
Oh yeah, give him a mustache.
Yeah.
I meant to
Thanks for that.
Photoshop a mustache on. I guess they don't see it.
Matt?
No, that's pretty good.
Put your hands over your eyes. Oh, there it is. That's him.
Yep.
Okay.
I have a
We'll
side
start-
part, not a
We'll
middle
work on the
part, though.
cosplay for celebration.
We'll work on it.
Oh yeah,
my
I could
God.
honestly model that. That'd be a fun
Oh,
project.
There you go.
That
we're
might
on
be
it.
something I could do.
I just like
yeah.
do this.
A bunch of circles.
Oh, where'd you
I,
pull this out of?
there you
Is that
go.
the- Is that the
yeah.
compass
Oh,
Luke Skywalker
I got
was
that at
looking for?
Galaxy's Edge, and it fell apart like during the trip,
Oh, it's
and I was
the
able to
ring.
return it. But I was like, guys,
Yeah.
this fell apart in 2 days. This
I
isn't
didn't know
enough.
you had that.
Yeah.
It's like Rose's like ring, but it's a keychain.
Well, you know what I have?
Keychain.
They also have the
I
ring.
forgot I had this with me. My welder that goes
Oh,
with
that's
my...
perfect.
Oh, nice.
AJ's really showing off everything.
That's legit.
But no, not just like, okay, so sorry to go all the way back to the mods, but like there's this guy, but this was the art at the end of it. Just, you can't tell I'm circling this, but look at the guy who is supposed to be like the mod artist, like working on them. You can't really tell as well in this. I tried to brighten it up, but he has a big white beard like Captain Rex, and he has metal legs. And I'm a little distraught over this concept art because I'm like, was he supposed to be Echo?
No, you think it's supposed to be Echo doing chop shop stuff?
That did kind of look like Echo.
I don't think so.
He just doesn't.
Wait, go back again?
I don't think Echo can grow a beard.
If you spend some time in
Of
a
course they
bacta
could.
tank, everything suddenly starts working again. Boba can grow his eyebrows, but like you're not gonna like grow back limbs because you're not like a reptile. Like only like Trandoshans can do that. So like, but I think that like hair growth would like happen. So like I don't know. He has metal legs and a beard, and he has something going around in the back of his head, and I'm just like. I love that it was Thundercat, and I love the vibe that they ended up going with. But I'm looking at this concept art, and I'm like,
Thundercat is a clone.
It could have been a
was this
last-minute
supposed to be a
pull.
clone? Was this supposed to be a clone? Excuse me? Excuse me, sir?
This is true.
Since when? Oh, other than
That's
the
not bad.
The concept
Oh,
art.
the art.
Sidon
Yeah.
was in the Mando concept art, and this is concept art, so it's possible.
Bold prediction, they are going to hire Sidon, Ithano, and Quiggles.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that.
That Bane has more likelihood of showing up than those.
Okay, yes.
That's true. That's
I
true.
think they pointed out that they didn't think the biker gang was responsible for the destruction.
Mhm.
And he
I
thinks
agree.
that Bib Fortuna betrayed him or did something with him. So
Okay, yeah. This is
Yeah,
a good.
I don't know
I'm
what the
thinking
double
Cad
cross
Bane
was
did
there.
that, right?
This is a good segue to what I'm thinking. Well, I don't know what I'm predicting or thinking, but like the Pikes, and I want to see the chat's thoughts on this as well
You're
as
really
your guys.
fishing here, AJ.
Oh, I'm fishing.
Oh God, please end it.
And the point is, we're not ending it.
Reel it in.
I have a big thought.
No!
It's my biggest issue with this
Spill the tea.
show right now. Who is the villain? The Pikes aren't the villain. You can't fool me that the Pikes are the villain.
They are a red herring.
Exactly. They are.
That's the problem with the Disney Plus shows is they always have to have a red herring. Every single one of them so far has had a villain and then the real villain. And
There's gotta be
like,
the big twist.
they're all fun, but like
What? Timbre out there? What the heck was that?
very commonly, that's what makes Mandalorian so fun is that there's like a very clear antagonist. Developed.
I like the
pretty
mystery
quickly.
antagonist, but yeah, I know what you mean.
I think it's the Pikes. I think
No,
The
the
second to
Pikes
last
are boring
episode-
though.
I don't
if
think
the
it's Crimson
Pikes
Dawn.
hired Cad Bane, I think is what
The
we're gonna
Pikes-
get.
I don't see the
give
symbol
me
in the
Kira.
Pike symbol.
Give me Shizor. Give me.
Shizor. You can't introduce Shizor this late
Why
in the
not?
game.
And then he could be in Mando season 3.
He's already been mentioned.
He's
He's
been
already-
mentioned in a
he's already totally
comic.
mentioned.
They're not gonna
Mhm.
like bring him in and they're gonna be like, "Hi, I'm Prince Shizor, and I did this, this, and this," and it's like it's gotta
They
be a
literally
well-established
did that
character.
They did that for Black Chrysanthemum though.
They didn't really. He was introduced
Yes,
at the
they did.
beginning of the show, and they
James
kind
Bond
of
himself
explained
is
him
okay.
as things
So-
grew on. But we're already past halfway.
Well, I felt that was a late time to do it anyway. We're just like, you were in the pits and you won every trophy and you did all the things.
But Boba had already called him a gladiator, so we already had that backstory kind of in our minds.
I
Don't,
Yeah.
just
feel.
don't hate on expository dialogue. It has its place.
I feel
It
like
does.
if anything, it could eventually lead to Crimson Dawn, seeing them back. Maybe Kira, maybe someone else. Like they're just gonna like shoehorn Prince Izor in instead to be
I mean, I would love
Crimson
Prince
Dawn
Shizor,
somehow.
Don't get me wrong.
But like I would love for it to be Kira, but they gotta go about it gently because people only know Kira from the Solo movie. They
Another good
don't
point
know a lot. The common audience person does not know there has been the comics run with her in it. Like they don't know, so they can't just like toss her in and be like, I'm alive. Like
So this
40
is-
years later, like that's not a good look. Like that's not good.
Refresh
So,
my
like,
memory.
Oh, that's a good point, Lena.
I
Did we
want
not know?
it to be her, but-
Did we not know Gideon
the
was the
Empire
villain
was a
to the
clear
last
villain.
episode?
No.
I haven't rewatched season 1 in a while.
We didn't.
We just
just
thought
That's
like
true.
the Empire was afoot. We didn't see this guy. I know he showed up in the last episode, but
Yeah.
we didn't know of him.
It was more that the Empire itself was the clear villain, and like it was an
Right.
expectation eventually there would be a face to the Force.
And Grief was like a half villain, and then he came back. Yeah, but he was never the villain.
Is there like a specific
Interesting.
leader of the Pikes, aside from like the guy who's like
Not that I know
he's
of.
gone to the couple times? Like
Not that I can think of.
they're just in general the Pikes.
Yeah.
This is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That we only have 3 episodes left. They introduce a villain, and then since Mando will be involved, instead of a job, it'll become a personal thing, and maybe that's part of Mando season 3. I don't know. It'll be like the Underminer in Incredibles. They'll leave it as a cliffhanger, and then episode 1 they'll finish.
See that
Then do a
the
sequel in,
chop
like, 10
shop
years.
guy, the mod shop guy, he had Underminer's arms.
Yeah.
If we're being honest.
The Underminer. This is true. This is true.
Mark
Okay.
Grimm.
How many of you know who Mark Krim is in there, aside from
Just Levi.
the 2 of you?
Oh, and
I
Clone
don't know who
Humor.
that is. Sorry.
He's the
Don't
leader of the
recall.
Pikes from the Clone Wars. You get a big head.
So
There's so many names.
I think that the biggest thing is we most of us here know a lot of what's happened in the Clone Wars, and we know what happens in the extended comics. But the average viewer, again, not to bring us down to this level, they're not gonna know. So like,
Not to bring
I
us
think
down
that
to
Crimson
not the
Dawn
average
has
viewer.
potential.
I'm
I think Crimson Dawn has huge potential, but they gotta like dive into it slowly. It's just
Yeah.
kind of
But the
like
average
there is
viewer
something
should-
more afoot. They'll know
the average
about
viewer
Crimson
should know
Dawn.
about Crimson Dawn, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But if they
And
just
they even
say,
know about
"Hey,
Crimson Dawn."
here's Kira," if they just have Kira show up and she's gonna look pretty much the same unless they age her up a little bit more, it's gonna
They
be a
need to
little
age her
fishy.
up. 'Cause
Yeah, and it's just like I would
the
love to see
Mando-
Amelia Clark, but like
the Mando shows are a mess when it comes to age. Like Ahsoka looks a little too old. Bo-Katan looks like way too young.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is all over the place when it comes to age. So I guess they could just bring in Amelia Clark and be like, forget
I never
it.
really think
Yeah.
of that, though. I'm not like, oh, they look too young or too... I don't know. I just...
mean,
I don't
personally,
think
I don't
about
really
it unless
care,
their
but-
story is tied to like other eras.
True.
If
Like,
it's
how
gonna
old-
be a big cameo, I'd like it to be bigger than just Amelia Clark. No offense
Yeah.
to her,
How
she's
old
great.
would Kira be? Did you just say this? I forget.
She'd be about the same age as Han. But think
So,
of
like,
how like obviously Han looks completely different at that
Yeah.
point in time. Yeah.
Han is
at most.
33 in A New Hope. Levi, help me out
Impressive.
here. I think he's old in A New Hope. Like he's like at least 10 years older than Princess Leia.
Who's old? Han?
Han.
Yeah.
I thought Han was
Microphone
like
Oh, he's back.
28,
Microphone
30
died, so
Oh,
I'm pretty sure he's in his 30s, and I think
we
he's
tried
like
to add it up with Ben's age.
like 30 or 31 in A New
Okay.
Hope. So now he's like in his like early 40s or late 30s, late 30s.
so Knights of Ren,
33.
get Alden Ehrenreich.
So he's 40. We'll say he's 30. Oh, so he was 30.
or we can do early First Order.
So now he's 42.
I don't
So
know.
he would be 42. How
First
old
Order
is
for
he?
what?
Snoke. How about Snoke?
No, no,
Hey,
no,
we gotta.
no, no.
We still
Too
have
early.
that sequel reference that
Cloners?
might come. Who knows?
Oh yeah, what about the cloning? Are they gonna revisit? Oh guys.
Knights
What
of
is
Ren.
and then I just said Knights of Ren. While Matt was talking.
I was looking
Knights
at
of
Han.
Ren, Snoke. I don't know something with
I'm
the
looking up
cloners.
Amelia Clark.
The Dr.
using, like, a
Pershing.
35.
Nice-
Dr.
1995
Pershing is just
computer.
gonna. I don't know. Dr. Pershing's just gonna appear and turn around and be like, "Look, I have like old Kaminoan scientist over here," and it's gonna be like, Nala.
Look, I cloned my ear.
Imagine that. What if we get like old Nala say? I
if we
would
just
like
get
turn off the
everybody?
TV.
You're really diving deep.
What if we
I'm
get
done.
everybody
I'm
I like
but
what
done.
you're
Cobb
thinking.
Vanth? Everybody shows up except Cobb Vanth.
You know what? That's probably gonna happen.
Oh, that would be so
That is
mean.
literally what's going to happen. I am not getting my hopes up for Cobb Vanth. I want him to show up, but I don't think he's going to. But we'll see.
It does seem sus. It's very fishy.
I don't
You
know.
did
he,
it
he
yourself.
He wasn't
did it on
much until
purpose.
he got Boba's armor. Unfortunately, like he's a great character in person, and a good leader for Mos Pelgo, but he wasn't able to stand up to anybody until he got that. I'm sure now he could probably, he'd probably like work hard to get back to that like level in some form or shape. But that's what made him him as we see him in the show. So
Cobb Vanth?
I don't know how much use he is without Boba's armor.
Well, there was a
because
lot
Boba's
of
using it
there was a lot of Mando armor sitting around in Navarro. Maybe
That's true.
melted down.
someone scooped it up and give it to Cobb.
Okay, now you are definitely stretching.
All right.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm teasing.
I think
I think he could still show up.
You know what was a stretch? This and this and this and this, but this. And this
and
and
then that.
There's a lot of
Cobb-
And then-
there's a lot of
Then-
there's a lot of Pepe Sylvia memes happening this week.
We're in
Honestly,
Cobb's
we're too
backyard.
much.
So
That's a good point.
that's all I got, guys. What do you? Any final thoughts?
any last
I'm really
thoughts?
looking forward to Mando showing up next week. We'll see what
Me
happens.
too. I just really want to
Yeah.
know where his head's at, and if we'll get to see if he's developed any fighting style surrounding the sword.
Yeah,
Be really
because he
cool to
doesn't
see.
have like a Jedi around just to like teach him.
It's one struggle I have when I'm using it now, because now that I finally got mine, is like, how do I hold this thing? I literally saw him do this, and that's it.
And you're
That's
like,
his whole range.
That's true.
oh
How else
boy.
do I hold it?
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm so excited. Just
By
as soon
this
as
time
that
next
thing came
week,
up.
we'll be talking about Mando and Boba working together,
And
unless
Back
something crazy
together
happens.
again.
hopefully Cobb Vanth, because I actually like that point. Clone humor. That Mando pulls up and he's like, well, let's get Cobb. to
I've
help
been
as
making
well.
that point
So
for
good.
months. Also, zippers in Star Wars.
All right, on that, you can find us all everywhere at HoloNet Marauders. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks, guys, for watching so much.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Subscribe.
Bye.